Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC out here at the Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. Going to take up the PC21 Pilatus by FMS. Big shout out to Hobby Zone for sending this out to me for a review. I don't know, this is my second Pilatus I've ever had. The first one I flew over the dog mess out of. Eventually, actually it's at the club for sale right now. And I bought that plane like 2 or 3 years ago. And it's a great flying plane, but I already had that one up for sale, and Hobby Zone said, we're going to send you Pilatus and some other planes. We want you to do reviews on them. I'm like, okay. I'm not going to say no. And so I'm fully honest with y'all. And so they sent me this out. I put a Lemon RX Gen 2 receiver, 6-channel receiver in there. I've got the all 3 levels. The stability mode there is where it's self-level, no gyro at all, and then their optimized mode, which is the same thing as AS3X, that's what I'll be flying in. A little windy today. In fact, it's very windy today, but it's directly down the runway, so I can deal with that. I don't mind the wind when it's right down the runway. Just means we won't need flaps, because you always want to take off into the wind and land into the wind. We'll go over, be flying in my high range, which is 100% over 30% expo, right, left, up, down, right, left. Motor on, timer is set for 5 minutes. We're gonna go back behind me and try to get in the habit of using the whole runway for takeoff if I can. So now, this plane, in case y'all are wondering, I do not recommend this plane for grass. Even, I mean, unless it's like a putting green, I don't recommend it for grass because, number one, that prop only clears the deck by maybe an inch or so, and very short, stubby landing gear. Do not need flaps today. But it is windy, so. I'm going just cruising along about half throttle right now. And you want to, even with the wind, this is one locked in plane. I'm actually going to have a hard time landing her because that wind is so strong it wants to get up underneath that wing and lift her. So let's get turned around here. And she's fairly light, even with that 3200 in there. There we go. There we go. No flaps. That's just no need for flaps. I got so much wind. So let's get her turned around here. I'm gonna do just shorter flights because look at how she sits. She sits kind of nose down anyways. So definitely not, I can't recommend her for grass, like I said, unless it's a putting green. Now, when there's no wind, I can rip this plane a little bit faster and do a little bit more. But boy, once she clears, well, she lifts up quick because that wind gets up underneath that wing. Very much a locked in plane. See, she's automatically lifting on me.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
And she's balanced fine. It's just that wind is just picking her up and carrying her off. Oh, that wind, man. Boy, she got it carried her right around that runway. But we can't land it. We can't leave it like that, you know. Can't leave it like that. Well, that wind, man. I know I keep complaining about the wind. I'm gonna leave the gear down. She'll slow right down for you, especially with this wind. I know you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about the wind. Oh man. All right. Well, I can't even, I got full left elevator, and look, she's getting turned. Okay, well, I'll go this way. Just got whipped around there. Man. All right. Well, timer was set for 3 or 5 minutes. Still got a minute and what, 24 seconds left. What does that tell you about the wind? And she's a 4-cell plane, so she's light, very light on her feet. But even with a 4-cell plane, this class of plane, you'd think she would sit solid enough on the ground to where she wouldn't get blown around, but this wind is just too crazy. All right, to show you, inside, big battery bay. All right, that's the reflex. You got that on camera, baby? All right, that's the reflex there. There's where I've got the 3200 just kind of hanging off the end of the wood tray there. And then tucked right here is the 7-channel Lemon RX Gen 2 receiver with a long antenna. I got them set at a 90 degrees. I've got the S-bus for the 3 channels of the reflex plugged into aux 2 because this is a 7-channel receiver. And so I can get all 3 levels. How's that? There you go. All right, well anyway, there's the receiver, battery. That's where the placement is. CG is just perfect right there. Basically right dead middle of the wing is where you want to have the battery. Great flying plane. On a really calm day, you can kick up the speed a little bit more on this. But don't. Huh? Did you say something? Oh, I didn't check the battery. You know, I got a bad habit of not doing that. I talk about it, but then I don't do it. All right. But my camera still got 76% left. Of course, I only flew for a little over 3 minutes, so that's to be expected. But honestly, this thing's very efficient. You can set your timer for 6.5 minutes and still come back at good 30% on your battery. Let me show you the retracts on this thing, because you see how, okay, the retracts are so narrow. I mean, you can see how short they are. Let me show you But got the gear doors there in the front, got the doors there on the back retracts. Good markings, it's visible. My only, you know, they send this out to me for me to review, and you know, and I tell them, okay, I'll give you a review, but it's going to be good and bad. I'm going to tell you everything. What I don't like about the plane, very minor, is that I wish the painted markings on the front were on the back of the propeller. There you have these little pitot tubes that you glue on the end of the wings. There's no real definition. They show you where you just shove them in somewhere and glue them in. The CG is a little confusing because usually you put your battery a little further forward. For a new person, putting that battery in the middle of the plane kind of towards the back is going to be confusing to a new person. Make the instructions a little more clear on that. And the other thing is add lights, okay? If you want to compete in the modern RC foam plane world, FMS, this plane needs lights. You're already charging what, $269 for this plane? It wouldn't hurt you at all to have a light here on the belly, on the end of each wingtip. Simple light set with a simple controller. You don't even have to change your mold. I mean, really, you don't. You can just add that. So maybe they would have to change your mold, but they could do it. It definitely would be worth it. Other than that, she's bright. She's got a good color. She flies great. She flies locked in. The performance, she flies as well as she looks, and she looks amazing. So there you go. I do wish that the gear was actual suspension, not fake looking suspension. That's just the chicken wire. So I wish it had the old, and nowadays with these planes of this class, they all have the suspension now. So there's no reason why that could be added without doing anything other than just changing the gear. You wouldn't have to change the mold at all. The lights I kind of understand, but that would be a simple change for FMS. That's, you know, my positive and my negatives. But all in all, her performance outshines everything else. She flies, she really doesn't even need a gyro. She locks in so well. She locks in so well. She's like a straight arrow. And it handles the wind just fine. We saw how windy it is, or it was. And well, there you go. And if you want this plane, I think she's still in stock at Hobby Zone. If you buy it, go to the link that I'll put in the description of this video. Go to that link. It'll take you to the Hobby Zone website. Find the plane underneath the FMS planes. Put it in your basket if you want to buy it. And then in that coupon field on the right side of the screen, you'll see a little coupon field. Put in FGFRC, all caps, FGFRC, Fat Guy Flies RC, and that'll take $10 off the price. Hey, if you're going to buy it anyways, 10 bucks is 10 bucks. It helps me out. You save a little bit of money. You get a great plane. I get a commission. I ain't going to lie. I get a commission off the sale of this plane. Full disclosure, okay? But I've told you what I don't like and what I do like. And I've told Hobby Zone, and they said they wouldn't expect anything less. They do not want me to sugarcoat the planes. If it's something wrong with it, say what's wrong with it, but why? If something's great, say it's great. You know, they want honest reviews, and that's the kind of company you're dealing with when you deal with Hobby Zone, okay? I've been buying from Hobby Zone from years before I became an affiliate, and I've always had a good experience with them. And now is no exception. Okay, great plane, decent. It could be a little cheaper, but then again, I'm a cheapskate. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all, and don't forget faith, family, and friends, and then jet trainers. Bye bye.